Howdy, my name is Jean Ann and this is the Health Adjacent Vlogging channel. I always feel a little odd saying vlogging. It feels like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like, I almost said it doesn't feel like a real world, but then a real word, but then it isn't. Anyway, today's video is going to be about relationships because I feel like, and I don't know if you feel this way if you're living with a chronic illness, I feel like that maintaining a relationship is incredibly difficult when you are sick a lot. And there are so many reasons why, but, and there are also so many reasons why it's rewarding and essential and like a reason for living when things get rough. But this is not going to be that video. This is going to be the video about how it really sucks to feel like crap and not know how to talk about it with the person that you love. So, I mean, I'm talking to you about this, you nameless, faceless people out there, because it's important to me, and I suspect that it's something that you've experienced too. So I'm hopeful that together we can figure out a way to deal with it. It's so hard to talk about because it's easy to be ignored when you're sick a lot. It's easy to be ignored, to have people ignore you, to have people be like, oh, there she goes again, blah, blah, blah. And I think some people cope with that by just continuing on and saying whatever they feel like, and, you know, screw you if you don't like it. I totally get that. I tend to, when I hear feedback like that, I tend to shut down. I am fully capable of taking care of myself. I don't need you. Go on about your business. I'll be here in the bed. Go on. You have your life, I'll have my life. I won't be hurting you. You won't be hurting me. I mean, and there may be some relationships where that's effective. You know, there may be some relationships where that's effective. But I'm not in that relationship. And I was reading online in a forum where a woman was talking about her experience, and she was saying how she had decided 20 years ago that she could not manage the demands of a relationship as well as an illness, and so she gave up relationships, not just that one, but all. And for 20 years she'd been alone, and she said, you know, in the beginning it was hard, but I've gotten used to it. And I totally get that, man. You have no idea how much today, especially, I get that. But doesn't that sound lonely? I mean, doesn't it just sound fucking lonely? Now I'm gonna have to give this an explicit rating. Maybe I can bleep it out. It's lonely, but what's the right balance, you know? What is the right balance? How do you talk to people that you love and that you want to keep around about how you're feeling when every day you feel sick? I mean, it is a broken record. I get sick of hearing about it for myself, and I get sick of feeling it and thinking about it. So I know if I'm sick of it, they're sick of it. And I don't know what the right answer is, except to say for myself, I have to get better at not being defensive about it. Because what I hear is somebody saying to me, well, you know, we've talked about that a lot today, honey. And I'm like, what? You don't think I got a disease? You don't think I have problems? You're totally invalidating me. Which is not what's happening, necessarily. But it's tough. And especially considering that I have spent a good portion of my life hiding my illness. You know, I have kept it from the public, and I don't mean like my public, but I mean like people outside of my close family and friends. And I've done that because I didn't want it to affect my work. I didn't want it to affect my the opinion that my colleagues have of me. I realize I'm pushing my hair out of my face every 5 minutes, and hopefully future videos will improve. This one will not. I just gotta be honest about that. And really, I'm trying to be honest, and that's the whole point of this channel, is to be honest about where I'm struggling, with the hopes that the other people out there who are like me will be honest in return, and we'll be able to support each other through it. Because here's what I found. I have looked everywhere on the internet for these kinds of conversations, and frankly, I need something more hopeful. I know it's hard, and I know it sucks, but I believe I can do it. I believe that I can have it all. I don't know how, and there are days that I struggle with that belief like nobody's business, but I am determined to have a life that is full and rewarding, even if it is not what other people experience as a full and rewarding life. And part of that is being with somebody that I love, who loves me back, and supporting them like they support me, and not making it one-sided, all about me, you know? And there are times it's going to have to be all about me. That's just nothing that I can control. But you know what? There are times it has to be all about my partner, too. That's life. We go back and forth and back and forth. And, you know, the things that drive you nuts about your partner are going to continue to drive you nuts. And maybe your illness drives your partner nuts. I think the important thing is to always remember the illness is the critical issue. It's the illness that's the problem. Maybe I'm not handling that problem the best that I could, but I'm not the problem. I don't want this thing. I don't want to feel like shit. I just don't know how to get out of myself sometimes enough to talk about other things. It's hard. My brain gets clouded. You know, it's hard to think when you feel like you've got the flu and your body hurts all over. You're not ready for a discussion about physics. But somehow there has to be a trade-off of me learning to get outside of myself and my partner learning to not blame me, but to recognize that the illness brings out behaviors that, while appropriate to the illness, are not necessarily appropriate to a long-term loving, committed relationship. And I don't mean appropriate, you know, like, oh, you're so appropriate, but more like doesn't make it a better relationship because of it. So, I mean, I think the first thing is I have to let go of some of my defensiveness. I do. I have to let go. My partner believes I'm sick, and there were many years when a lot of people did not believe that I was sick, and I spent a long time fighting to convince people that I was sick because all my tests kept coming back normal. And but my partner believes, and I don't have to fight that battle with her. You know, I don't. And that's really the only part of it that I have figured out yet. If you have some tips, comment. Comment. Don't comment on the flabby arm. Don't comment on that. Comment on chronic illness and relationships. And here's the deal. Don't just complain. I want suggestions. I want your suggestions. And if you do, I'll gather them up, put them in a nice little post them on the blog so everybody can read them. Okay? Anyway, this is going to be a multi-parter, this relationships one. Get ready. Buckle up. Yeah. All right. Adios.